Hi, thank you for joining us here at Girls Pint Inn, part of Craft Beer Nation. I am here with my wonderful friends Ashley Bauer and Vicki Perrigan, and tonight we're going to talk about home brewing. And I'm pretty much a novice at it. I vaguely remember getting my glasses steamed up and it being really hot, but the apartment smelling wonderful. But Ashley Bauer is our resident home brewing expert, and Vicki is starting out, so she has lots of questions. So
Yep.
Ashley, before we get started, of course, you know you can find us at Stitcher and iTunes, craftbeernation.org, Twitter, Google+, Facebook, all that stuff, in your dreams, in the stars, in the heavens, and under the bed, too, if you're not good. All right, let's go ahead and start. Ashley, go ahead and tell us what got you into home brewing, what you find is the hardest thing about it, what you've gotten better at it, just anything you can tell us about it.
Well, I started homebrewing in the spring of 2009. I got into craft beer in 2008, and I wanted to learn more about the process, and I read online the best way to do that was to brew a batch yourself, so I went out and I got myself a kit. It was an extract kit, and I joined the local homebrew club, and I had some folks over from the club, and they walked me through my first beer, and I brewed it. I waited 6 weeks, and I tasted it, and it was terrible.
Well, that happens. It's okay.
Yep. But I wasn't discouraged. I did kind of drop it for a little while, but then I started brewing again the following year, and I made a pact with myself to brew once every 3 weeks for about 4 months. And during that time, I kind of got down the process and perfected, how to chill my wort and just the whole extract process, really, which is a little different than all grain. And I went kind of on and off over the years from there, brewing here and there. And then in November of last year, I went all grain brewing, which is really fun. And I've probably brewed about 10 or 12 times since I went all grain last November. But it's awesome.
I heard once you go all grain, it's never the same.
It's so true. Once you go all grain, you never go back.
That's good. I'm glad. Is there a lot more to brewing all grain?
It's another hour and a half-ish, maybe 2 hours if you go slowly, process-wise, but you have a lot more control over your recipe.
Good. So it's like the difference between an automatic and stick shift.
There you go.
There you go.
You're the stick shift of home brewers.
Yep.
We're going to make you a new lower third with that on it.
There you go. No, I mean, it's sort of like a box cake versus, I guess you're a cake from scratch. There's a lot of great box cakes you can make, and they're quite tasty. I mean, even if you go to like Whole Foods or something, you can get some pretty cool box cakes. But you can make any kind of cake if you just have the ingredients and do it from scratch. So.
And plus, if you get it from a box, it's not your cake. Someone else devised the recipe.
It's true.
Exactly. In this case, these are your beers. You're free to put whatever spin you want on it, and you can say you actually created it.
Yep. And extract's an excellent way to get started. It's a little cheaper than the all grain. You can make really good beers as long as you've got good fresh extract.
Okay.
And you can steep grains, so you can do some creative stuff with, you don't have to have, the all grain to do creative stuff, but it just, it opens up a few more doors, I guess.
What's your favorite type of beer to brew so far?
I love brewing bitters from England. So ordinary bitter, premium bitter, extra special bitter. As you go up, the alcohol content increases and the hop character increases. I just love having those because you can't find them anywhere, especially a good fresh one.
Right.
And
that's interesting.
Yeah, I just brewed one this past Sunday.
Okay.
An ordinary bitter. It clocked in at 1.035 on the original gravity.
Okay.
I'm still learning about what all that stuff means.
So the original gravity, in I guess really basic terms, is water's a gravity of 1, and then when you brew beer, you extract sugars from the malts, and the sugars add to the gravity. So this one, I had less sugars than I would say a Russian Imperial Stout, and so the gravity was 1.035. It'll probably finish out somewhere around 1.007 to 1.01 my alcohol will probably be around 3.5%.
Which you like.
Yes. I love session beers.
Yep.
So
Go ahead.
would you say, since it has a lower gravity and lower ABV, would you say it's a less dense beer than, say, a Russian Imperial Stout?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can have a higher mouthfeel on a beer that's low alcohol if you don't ferment out all the sugars.
Okay.
But in general, yeah, it would be a thinner beer.
Okay. And that's probably more sessionable in that case.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
Okay, that's good, especially when it's 100 degrees.
Exactly.
How
For
hot
sure.
is it, Vicky? How hot has it been over there?
It's actually been pretty nice the past couple days. We're in our monsoon season, and it hasn't rained, but the temperatures have been a little bit more bearable. Although today it was right around 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. What's bearable to you?
about 100, high 90s. Once it gets over 100, it gets a little bit warm.
It's just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, when you walk outside and you feel like you're walking into an oven, it's not fun.
What I told somebody today, it feels like there's a swamp in the air. I expect alligators to float by. That's
Yeah.
how it feels.
We
Yeah,
don't have that.
You're lucky. It's a dry heat.
yeah,
it's
there are
very-
days here where I feel like I go swimming in my air.
Yeah,
It's horrible. I feel like I could choke on it.
yeah. No, I don't miss the humidity for sure.
So I homebrewed on Sunday, and it was 98 degrees
Oh my goodness.
outside.
Fun.
Yeah, I was outside to do what I needed to do, and I watched the kettle because I didn't want to leave it open flame, but I also did not stay outside. I'm not gonna lie.
There's no way.
Watched it from inside.
No. No, I wouldn't want to stay outside either.
No. Yeah, there are certain points where you have to put hops in, or you need to make sure your hot break happens and your kettle doesn't boil over. But other than that, inside.
Yep.
Yeah. I would
So-
run out through it and run back in.
Do you make up your own recipes, Ashley, or do you find recipes from a certain source, or how do you do that?
At present, I have been using other people's recipes. Some of my favorites are from the book, let's see, what is it, Brewing Classic Styles. And it's by the fine folks that, like the people from Brew Strong. I can't remember the name of it. Is it John Palmer or Jamil Zadershev? One of them does it. I swear. But it's really great, just classic styles from the BJCP, all the different categories, and I feel like if I can do those well, then maybe one day I'll get creative and do something else. But
Right.
You got to have a base first.
mhm.
Get good at the basics and then experiment. I mean, even chefs don't start off doing, 8-course meals. I mean, you start with the basics and then you build upon that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I've been looking at the homebrewing magazines and stuff, and I've looked at some books and that kind of thing, but I didn't know, if I should. I mean, I have the book that you recommended on one of our hangouts, the How to Learn to Brew book.
How to brew.
How to Brew, yeah. That's very informative. And, yeah, I've just been looking at magazines and looking at books at the bookstore, but I haven't made any other purchases yet.
So how did your first brew day go, and what did you brew?
We brewed a Saison because I brewed with a friend of mine. She's brewed before. I haven't. This is my first time. So I just went to her house and we brewed, and we just got the recipe off the internet. The guy from the homebrew shop. So we told him what we wanted to brew, what we were looking for, and so he found us a recipe, printed it off, and then helped us get the ingredients and all that stuff. So that was pretty painless. And ours was a partial grain. We used part extract and part grain, whole grain.
Mhm.
So we did a little bit of both. That was interesting. And we're almost ready to bottle. Should be like a few more days.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Saison is a great choice for this time of year because you don't have
Right.
to worry as much about your fermentation temperature.
Right, that's primarily why we picked it, so we didn't have to try to keep it cold when it's 105 and 100 and whatever outside.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to keep 5 gallons of beer cold.
What do you think you'd end up with? Just really tepid beer? I mean, would it just be flat?
It'll throw phenols, and phenols are anywhere between like a medicinal taste to a plastic Band-Aid flavor.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No,
Yeah.
I would not want that at all.
No. So I know that you have a keg, right, Ashley? You keg your beers now?
Yes, we have this wonderful fancy kegerator. I'll show it off here.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
And 3 taps are supposed to be for beer and then 1 tap for soda. But things have been so nutty with things that I haven't really been able to brew. This is the first time I've been able to brew since early May. And I have an old L, which is in secondary, and because it's an old L, it's supposed to sit in secondary for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll go in here soon. I've got 1 in there that's drinkable, and then the one I just brewed I'm gonna keg up in the next like 5-7 days.
Very nice.
Yep.
And that one's going to a competition, right?
It is. It's an all-ladies homebrew competition in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That is so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all the proceeds from the competition are going to be donated to the Pink Boots Society
Okay.
for the scholarship fund, so that we can educate more ladies that are interested in furthering their career in the brewing industry.
Awesome. Love it. That
So-
would be a fun competition to go
That's
try the
awesome.
beers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, are they gonna let people drink them, or is it just gonna be the judges drinking them?
No, they're going to let the public do it. In North Carolina, you can get away with that. So it's up in
Oh.
Charlotte, just across the line. So I'll be able to serve the beer to whoever comes and gets a ticket.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. I can't wait to hear how you do.
I hope they love my ordinary bitter, and I don't necessarily expect it to win, but as long as people like it, that's what's important.
That's what matters. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of competition.
And
Yeah.
since it's such an I don't want to say old-fashioned, but not your normal style, maybe you'll stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe it'll be like silly hot, and it'll be really refreshing. And people will love it.
People
There
be
you
like,
go.
I like this. It's good.
Nope. We'll see.
Yeah.
Awesome. So is there any kind of reference material or anything that you would recommend to somebody who's getting started in homebrewing, like me?
I started out with how to brew and brewing classic styles. Like after I had gotten into it, actually. And how to brew was great, but it's like really over your head, especially on the all grain stuff. I had no idea what I was reading until
Yeah.
you see an all grain brew day. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's
But
like,
the extract portion's useful, and the science is kind of fun.
Yeah, I've kind of perused it in the evenings, and some of it's I'm just like, what? And some of it's like, oh, that's why we did that. I understand. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you have to read it 2 or 3 times to understand exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
and break down the sentence and be like, okay, this gravity and this. Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, there's a cute story about a family chopping up trees and limbs from their yard in the book that talks about the enzymes. So he compares chopping up the trees to how the enzymes work in the mash.
That's pretty cool. It
I
helps
was
to
like-
have a visual, huh?
Yeah, I would like to be able to recite that story. Sadly, right now.
Don't worry about it. I just now I want someone to do like a web comic. I want to see like a web comic with people chopping down the trees and like, this is how the mash is made. These are the
Entirely possible that
enzymes.
one is out there.
We need to look
Probably
for it.
is.
I wish I could draw.
And did you find that being a member of your local homebrew group to be beneficial?
I did. It's nice to be able to have people to ask questions
Mm-hmm.
and, give samples of my homebrew and get some feedback, and just the support of people who, are doing the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah,
So,
I think I'm gonna have to go check out a meeting.
yeah, it's really fun, and hopefully you'll have more women in your club. We're getting better. We're up to like 10 or 12.
Okay,
Wow.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and there's finally just this past year a girl joined. She's probably about my age when I joined, and she doesn't have it's not a husband or a boyfriend, like she joined on her own.
Okay, good.
So that's really cool. I drag my
Awesome.
dear husband along to meetings sometimes, but he doesn't drink.
Well, you
so-
have to have a designated driver.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes our meetings can get a little crazy.
That's one of the things I miss about homebrewing, because I belong to the group here too. I've already forgot. It was called CASK, C-A-S-K. I don't remember what that stood for, but we would meet at a local. Well, it was a chain brewery, but each chain has like its own name, and this one's called Seven Bridges. And we would meet there out on the patio, and everyone would pass their beer around.
Mhm.
I mean, there was so much beer. I remember this one poor man, he couldn't go home because he was so drunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he had to sit there and just watch like football or whatever on the TV. He said, "I'm just staying here." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "We don't know you, so we're not giving you a ride."
Our meetings don't get quite that rowdy, but our
That's
club
good.
parties certainly do.
Good.
We have 2 club parties a year, and they can get ah,
Can we tell
Wow.
who's doing that?
I don't know.
Oh. I don't know what that was.
What?
That was a loud screeching sound on our mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know whose it was.
I don't know.
All right.
Well,
You're Ashley. You're talking about the homebrew meetings and parties.
yeah, we have 2 a year, and the last meeting, several gentlemen jumped into the river,
Oh.
and it was March, so not the best river jumping time.
No.
It's actually quite a cold river this time of year, so I can only imagine how cold it was in March.
Mm-hmm.
But
Probably.
apparently they had a good time.
I guess so.
They were probably insulated or numb. They didn't
Yeah.
feel it.
They may have consumed a couple of beers prior to jumping in.
I'd be worried they'd be so relaxed they'd just be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and sink on in."
Yeah.
I'd be worried. I'd be like, "Oh, come on up."
It's
So,
fun.
Lola, do you have plans to brew ever again, since you've done it before?
Well, the person I would brew with, he moved away.
Oh.
I know, and I remember it was so heavy because I had to help him move the boiling water in,
Mhm.
and I just remember it was so heavy. I don't know how y'all can lift that on your own.
I've done it before. It's not fun.
Okay.
When I can, I get my husband to help, but I have brewed it on my own, and I don't, especially like boiling water, I try not to lift more than 3 gallons at a time just because I don't want to spill it.
Mhm. Yeah.
That would hurt. But I regularly lift 5 or 6 gallons with, just a little bit of struggle.
Okay. Maybe
It's
I'll
definitely
get
nice. It's definitely nice to brew with somebody. That was a lot of fun. Very fun learning experience.
Yeah, it's more fun when you have some help, and I haven't found anybody who's like really into it yet that wants to brew with me, so I've had brew days where the homebrew club comes over and we have a good time, but it's more like, hey, let me watch you brew, and I'm okay with that. But
Yeah, it's still you're brewing on your own.
yeah, they'll help and all, but it's not quite the same.
It's not the
Right.
same as having a partner to do it with.
Exactly.
If I ever move into a house, I mean, right now we just have this 1-bedroom apartment, and I think Clint would be really annoyed with me if I took up, a lot of space to do that. I wouldn't even know where I would put all of it. So I think right now I can't, but if we ever get a bigger place, I'd like to consider it again.
Because then you can brew what you'd like.
Exactly, and I can learn to do bitters.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want to.
Exactly.
I think I would want to learn to do like chocolate stouts or something.
Well, I'm gonna be brewing again with my friend. We'll probably do another one together again. And then another girl in our Girls Pint Out group brews. So we're planning to brew with her.
Okay.
So it'll be fun. All girls.
That's awesome.
I know. I'm excited about it. She's been away for the summer, but when she gets back, we're going to nail down some plans. And we'll see what we're going to do.
Do you know what kind you're going to do yet?
Not yet. We haven't decided.
Now, do you brew at her house or your house?
Her house, because she's got all the equipment. I don't have anything yet, because I just wanted to try it out and see if it was something I really wanted to get into. But I can see that it would be a very addicting hobby to get into.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Especially
fun, and
good beer.
yeah, I can't wait to try it, and hopefully it's not too terrible.
No, if you had it ferment in the house, it'll be fine. The saisons are great for that.
Yep. That's what I'm hoping. So, yeah. And then our Tucson Girls Pint Out group is brewing with one of the local breweries for our anniversary in September.
Ooh.
So
we're
we get
doing
to actually
that too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna do an apple pie saison for our anniversary in October.
That sounds really good.
I'm so excited about that because it's with a real brewery, not just on the stove.
Right.
Yeah. Are they going to tap any of it at the brewery?
We'll probably tap it at our local favorite little bar hangout place, Tap and Bottle, because that's where we started.
Okay.
So that's the plan so far. I don't know if they'll serve it at the brewery or not. We'll see how it turns out, I guess.
Yeah, they may have to make that decision afterwards.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's like professional.
I know.
You'll get to use their equipment. I guess you'll be using their equipment, right?
Yep. And we're gonna go pick our own apples for it too.
Now, how'd you guys decide what style you wanted to brew? Like when?
Well, we talked with them, and they gave us some ideas, and then we decided we were going to do a saison, and so it was just a matter of what kind of twist we wanted to put on it. And since it's going to be the fall, we figured apples would go really well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's.
And the pumpkin market is oversaturated, so maybe it's better stick to apples.
Yeah, I don't think I need to do a pumpkin beer. Although one of these days I will, because I love pumpkin beers.
Mm-hmm.
Just not right now. It's too soon.
I think pumpkin has you covered.
It's not distributed out here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they've got so much of it. I'm surprised they aren't distributing over there.
I wish they would, but no.
We'll send you some.
Yeah, you'll get some. Don't worry.
I've had one bottle somebody sent me in a beer trade, and it's very good. I love it. It's just not available, but I'll take whatever you guys want to send.
You get Weyerbacher?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
That's my favorite one, so.
Yes, we do.
Good.
I've had Weyerbacher. I don't think I've had their pumpkin beer.
Their pumpkin beer is my favorite one, like of a normal pumpkin beer.
All right, I'll look for that.
Yeah.
And then New Holland does one called Ichabod that's quite enjoyable.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
I've had Ichabod. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the label on that one.
I think Cigar City does a pumpkin one too, right?
Good gourd.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that one.
I did not care for it.
You did? Oh.
It was sweet potatoey. I'm sure it's a
I would
lovely
like
brew.
that. I would probably like it.
Yeah, they didn't do a bad job on it. It's just not for me.
I would probably like it if it's sweet potato-y.
I love sweet potatoes.
So, I made a form up, just like a Google the Google Documents form, and I'm going to put it up on our Girls Pint Out page and have the ladies that can write in what they would like to brew. And the only constraints I've set on it is L and less than 7% alcohol and no wild yeast.
Okay.
So no Brettanomyces. Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Are you guys? Who are you going to be brewing with?
Conquest, where we had our first meetup back in October.
Cool.
And our anniversary date's going to be October 9th. We had our meetup last year, October 10th, but that's a Friday, and so we're just going to do it the Thursday before, but it'll be good.
Sounds like fun.
Now, did the breweries offer to do this, or did you ask?
I asked.
We asked.
That's so cool.
Well, I heard about the Indianapolis group doing it for their anniversary next year, right, Ashley?
Yeah.
They're brewing with one of the breweries in their area. So I was talking to Sarah, and I said, we should do that for our anniversary. And she's like, yes, we should. Let me just ask 1055 if they want to brew with us. And they're like, heck yeah. So
Excellent.
there we go. I know.
I guess you'll have to go during the daytime, right? Not when they're open?
Oh, yeah, we're going to brew during the day. It's just going to be an afternoon thing, and whoever wants to come and help out can. And then there's actually a beer festival that evening, so we'll probably be an all-day event.
That's a perfect day.
I
you
know,
have to
right?
reward yourself, and you'll be tired. So you'll want to just kind of like hang out and drink some beer.
Exactly.
That's awesome. It's better to have it in that order rather than having the beer festival and then trying to brew.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, I'd probably end up with my head in the mash. I'd be like, oh, it smells good. I'm just going to nuzzle up in it and go to sleep. I'm
No, it's good
like
to brew early if you can.
Yeah.
Yep,
Especially since it'll be cooler earlier.
Mhm.
exactly.
So, what are your upcoming events in your chapter, Victoria?
We're doing beer trivia tomorrow night at World of Beer, our first event there.
Awesome.
Yep, they've tapped some special kegs for us, and I'll let you know what those all are after the event.
Cool.
Yep. And then I'm not sure what else we have. We have a couple other things planned. We just don't have dates set yet.
Our next two are official. The next one is beer and cake pairing.
Ooh.
We're going to pair
Ooh.
4 different types of cakes with 4 different beers.
That's
Awesome.
interesting.
Yep. And then we've got one at the end of the month at the tour of a brewery, Swamp Cabbage, that is opening up in the next couple of weeks. So,
Very nice.
our 3rd brewery in Columbia.
That's
And yes,
awesome.
it's Swamp Cabbage.
Swamp cabbage.
At first I thought you were going to say swamp head. I was like, wait, that already exists. Swamp cabbage.
That's interesting.
It's named after the heart of the palm.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that makes sense.
Palmettos are our state tree, and they're everywhere, so...
I see. Makes sense.
I kind of see what they're getting.
Yep.
That's like most of our breweries are named after something Jackson related. Like Bold City Brewery, Jacksonville, one of its nicknames is the Bold City. Seven Bridges Brewery, there are 7 bridges over the St. Johns River. Intuition, I'm not sure if that's Jacksonville related. Maybe that's just a cool name.
That's cool. Well, any more questions about homebrewing before we sign off for the night?
I don't think so.
Cool.
We forgot to say what we were drinking. Ashley.
Oh,
Oh! Well, I consumed this lovely beauty earlier in the evening, the chocolate oak-aged Yeti.
yummy.
I
Not
love
all of
that.
it by myself, but, some of it.
I love that beer.
I would probably drink it all by myself.
I probably wouldn't be this coherent.
I know. Is that high ABV?
I think it's 9.8,
Yeah, it's an
Oh.
imperial.
9.5. Close enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I drank that whole thing, I would not be upright.
Right.
I would not be talking to y'all. I would have been like, y'all need to do it. I'm going to sleep. There's no way.
I'm having a nice summer beer.
Ooh, Shipyard.
Melon Head. It's a watermelon beer.
How is it?
It's very, it's a little too sweet for me, but
Okay.
it's pretty good. I mean, it tastes sort of like watermelons,
Mhm.
and it's nice when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit too sweet. I could go for a little bit less sweet.
Is it really like watermelon juicy? I don't like it when beers are so juicy that they're almost like juice.
No, It's like a regular, your normal fruit beer. It's just a little on the sweeter side than I would prefer. But it tastes good. It's nice and refreshing, that's for sure.
That's good.
Yep. And what are you drinking, Miss Lola?
I wouldn't call it refreshing. I just picked a bunch of stuff out at Total Wine, just whatever I thought I'd like. This is an Australian beer. I've never had it before. It's called Cooper's Brewery. And
Okay.
it's an best extra stout. It's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely stouty. It's got that like bitter kind of dark taste to it. But I like it. I mean, it has a nice mouthfeel.
Cool.
That sounds awesome.
You guys are both drinking stouts, and I'm drinking a fruit beer.
Well, 100 degrees, that's when I break out my stouts.
I love stouts. Stouts are my go-to beer.
I love stouts too, but I usually don't start off the evening with them.
Well, if all goes according, I probably won't drink any more than this. So, I mean, this is probably going to be it because I should be going to bed.
Yeah, I'm done. It's late.
Yep. It's not late yet, but I have a long week, so.
All right, on that note, we're going to sign off. Thank you for watching Girls Pint In on Craft Beer Nation. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.